In a dusty thrift shop, Milo found a strange blue coat hanging in the corner. "Try it on," the shopkeeper winked. As soon as Milo slipped it over his shoulders, the coat purred and lifted him an inch off the ground. "Whoa, it hovers," Milo grinned. "Where would you like to go?" the coat whispered. Milo thought hard. Somewhere no one's been before. With a flutter, the coat soared out the door, over streets, past clouds, higher and higher. They zipped through rainbow storms and cotton candy skies until they reached a floating island with doors hanging in midair. "Choose a door," the coat said softly. Milo reached for a shimmering silver one, but suddenly all the doors began to glow. "Each leads to a different adventure," the coat whispered. "But you can only pick one tonight." In the heart of Willow Jungle, fierce Roarclaw the tiger prowled, feared by all. But one day, something tiny landed on his nose. A bumblebee. "Shoo," he growled, crossing his eyes to see it. But the bee didn't buzz away. "I'm Buzzlin," it said, wings shimmering. "And you, sir, need my help." Roarclaw scoffed out, "I'm the king of this jungle, eh?" But Buzzline buzzed closer. "A storm's coming, a flood, and only I know the way to higher ground." Thunder rumbled in the distance. Roarclaw hesitated, then nodded. And so the mighty tiger followed the tiniest guide, weaving through secret tunnels and hidden paths as the skies darkened. Behind them, water rushed. Ahead, hope glimmered. "Why are you helping me?" Roarclaw finally asked. Buzzling smiled, "Because even the strongest need a friend." In a quiet workshop, Rusty the robot stared at a blank wall. "I wish I could paint," he sighed, "but my hands are too clunky." Suddenly, a tiny bee with a paintbrush for a tail buzzed in. "Need help?" she asked. Who are you?" Rusty blinked. "I'm Beely, the painter bee. I make colors where there's none." She zipped around, splashing blues and yellows across the wall. "Wow," Rusty gasped. "Teach me." "Sure," Beely grinned, guiding his metal fingers. Slowly, Rusty dipped into paint and made his first stroke. Then another, and another. Together, they painted swirling galaxies, dancing stars, and shining suns. "It's beautiful," Rusty whispered. Beely smiled. "Sometimes it just takes a friend to show you how bright you can be." Tinsel the elf and Twinkle the kitten peered over the edge of Candy Canyon. "We've got to find the missing gumdrop crown," Twinkle meowed, "before King Caramel wakes up." Tinsel adjusted her peppermint-striped hat. "Let's rappel." They slid down licorice ropes, dodging cotton candy clouds and marshmallow boulders. Suddenly, a licorice snake hissed. "No one passes without a riddle." "We don't have time," Tinsel cried, but Twinkle purred, whispering the answer in its ear. The snake smiled and slithered aside. Deeper into the canyon they raced until there it was. The gumdrop crown sat atop a chocolate stalagmite. Carefully, they lifted it just as the sun rose. "Quick," Tinsel giggled. "Back to the castle." And as they placed the crown on the king's head, he stirred and smiled, none the wiser to their sugary adventure. No one knew where he came from. One morning, a small boy made entirely of marshmallow walked into Sweetville, his sugary footsteps sticking to the cobbled streets. "I'm Max," he said softly, "and I'm melting." The townsfolk gasped. Max's arms were drooping in the warm sun. Baker Bella rushed forward. "Quick, we need shade." But as umbrellas popped open and ice cream trucks circled him, Max's smile faded. "I wasn't always marshmallow," he whispered. "A wish, a shooting star. Now I'm stuck like this." A curious sparkle glinted in his gooey eyes. "But maybe, just maybe, someone here knows how to turn me back." And as the town gathered, little Max lifted a sticky hand toward the old candy clock tower. "We've got until midnight before I melt completely." Every fish in Coral Reef admired Bubbletail's shimmering, bubble-blowing tail. But Bubbletail didn't want to stay in the reef. "I want to explore beyond the kelp," she declared. So one morning she swam past the coral towers, leaving a trail of glittering bubbles behind. "Careful," warned the seahorses, "beware the deep." But Bubbletail swam bravely on. Soon the water grew darker. Then, glowing eyes. "Who goes there?" rumbled a giant sea turtle. Bubbletail gulped. "I'm Bubbletail. I want to see the world." The turtle chuckled, then hop on, little explorer. Together they glided through underwater caves and shipwrecks, past glowing jellyfish and singing whales. The world is big, Bubbletail whispered, but not so scary when you've got friends. And her bubbles sparkled brighter than ever as they journeyed on. Every fish and coral. High above the mountains lived a shy cloud named Puff. He watched big. I could never do that, he sighed. One day the sun said, Puff, the garden below needs rain. Can you help? Me, I'm too small, Puff said nervously. Please, the sun smiled. Puff floated down, took a deep breath, and let out a soft drizzle. Flowers perked up, trees smiled. More, Puff, said the sun. He rained just enough to refresh the garden. Back home, the big clouds cheered, Look who made rain today. And Puff felt big for the very first time. Shelly the snail longed for speed. Every day she watched Skitter, the jetpack squirrel, zoom across the park. Oh, to fly, she sighed. Why so glum, Slowpoke? Skitter grinned, zipping by. I wish I could go fast, Shelly said. Hop on, he said, but I'm a snail. Perfect. Skitter strapped her on, and whoosh, they soared over trees and puddles. Whee, Shelly cheered. Suddenly, jammed controls. Spiraling down, Skitter panicked. Shelly stretched out, and caught a lily pad, gliding them safely down. Whoa, Skitter said. You saved us. Shelly smiled. Slow and Steady's got moves too. Every morning, Lila tended her tiny garden on the castle wall. Roses, tulips, daisies, all bloomed under her care. But one misty dawn, a shadow loomed overhead. A dragon. Please don't eat my flowers, Lila begged. But the dragon sighed. I don't want flowers. I need help. He opened a claw, revealing a wilted golden seed. I've tried planting it everywhere, but it won't grow. Lila smiled gently. Let's try together. They dug a small patch in her garden, watered it, and waited. Days passed. Then, sprout. A golden vine shot up, wrapping around the castle. It needed kindness, Lila said softly. The dragon beamed. And now I'll guard your garden always. From then on, the dragon's wings shaded the flowers, and every visitor left with a golden bloom. In a dusty attic, Dustella found a pair of old sneakers glowing faintly under moonlight. She slipped them on and they hummed. Suddenly, she floated an inch above the floor. Cool, she laughed, twirling. But then, the sneakers sprinted out the window. Hey, who's driving these? She shrieked as they dashed across rooftops, over fences, into the sleeping city. The sneakers stopped before an old shoe store. Inside, shelves shimmered with glowing shoes. You're the chosen walker, whispered a voice. A tiny cobbler stepped, smiling. These sneakers only fit those meant to walk between worlds. Dustella's eyes widened. Worlds? The cobbler nodded. Tonight we need you. And as the sneakers laced themselves tighter, Dustella stepped him forward, ready for an adventure she never imagined. Deep under Clover Hill, 3 bunnies, Nibbles, Thumper, and Tilly, peeked out of their burrow. It's gone, Tilly gasped. The moonstone, the glowing gem that lit their tunnels, had vanished. Without it, the warren would fall into darkness. We must find it, said Nibbles, stuffing carrots into a satchel. Their journey began under starlight, hopping past sleepy owls and whispering winds. Suddenly, paw prints, big ones, led into the foggy woods. Something took it, Thumper gulped. Bravely, they pressed on, their ears twitching at every crackle. At the heart of the woods stood a towering badger holding the moonstone. I borrowed it for my sick cub, he rumbled. The bunnies huddled. Maybe we can share it, Tilly offered. And as the moonstone's glow lit both burrows that night, the 3 brave bunnies learned that sometimes courage meant kindness too.